Hello students, welcome to the next series of big data technologies. So in the previous modules or in the we have seen a lot of things related to the big data, its definitions, analytics, the various steps what we are going to use, and how about the more about the data. So in this module we'll be talking about the technologies part, and we can see, as we can see here, so what is the Hadoop. And before we walk through into the in detail about our Hadoop, so just a few important characteristics of the Hadoop and various the difference between this the latest technology and our traditional RDBMS, or we'll be looking into some of the very hot topics, or we can say very important thing which is going in the industry right now, whether it is a data discovery, open source or cloud, predictive analysis, etc. So all these things we will be covering in this particular module. And of course it's a very small and very easy module what we will be discussing. And before we go into all these aspects, so first we will look into an overview of what all the big data technologies right now we are having in the market. So out of all these technologies, so we will be looking, or we will be studying one particular technologies. Now coming to our big data technologies. Now how do we define the big data technologies? Now big data technologies are nothing but it is software utility, so which is being designed for analysis, process and extract the information which we have already currently stored. Already we have said that we are talking about the big data. You have collected huge amount of the data. Now once you have got the data in your data warehouse or in the data mart, what is our task? The next task is to analyze it, to process it, to extract it. So now to do the analysis on that particular data, to process that particular data, or to extract some information, that is the mining the particular data, we need some technologies. That's what we call the big data technologies. And our traditional like say RDBMS database what we are having, which generally deals with the structured data. Now these traditional databases are unable to manage this huge amount of the data. So broadly classifying the big data technologies, now it is broadly classified into two classes. The first one we call it as the operational big data. The second one is the analytical big data. I will go into the one by one in detail. Now operational big data technologies. Now as the name specifies, operational, that means our day-to-day activity. Now we have so many applications wherein which on daily basis, on day-to-day, now we try to gather, we try to generate huge amount of the data. Like say for example, it can be our online ticket booking. Now you can book a train ticket or air ticket or a movie ticket, etc. Now all this online booking, we can have online shopping, right? So we are doing a lot of online shopping from various websites, and social media data which you are going to collect from your social media. It can be WhatsApp or Facebook, Twitter, etc. Now and even we can say that if it is a multinational companies, the various activities which is happening in the organization itself, right? You collect all those data and you want to process that data, you want to analyze that data, you want to mine that data. We call it as operational big data technology. So this is day-to-day, on the normal day-to-day activities what we are going to follow. The technology what we are going to use on these day-to-day activities, now we call it as a operational big data. This is the first classification what we are going to have. The second one is the analytical big data technologies. Now analytical big data technologies means is the next level of our operational big data technologies. That means we go to the next level. So we here in analytical big data technology, the real-time application comes into the picture. Whether the real time, like say for example, if it is stock marketing, weather forecasting in the healthcare sectors, or in the space research organization, or aircraft and controlling system. Now various real-time business operations what we are going to do. Now once you collect all the data for your real time, so then we go for analysis. So we call it as analytical big data technology. So these are the two classifications what we can do under our big data technology. Now let us start with the these the top big data technologies which are used in the in the industry. Now all these big data technologies which are being used in the industry, now they are classified based on the 4 fields, or we can say based on the 4 features what we are going to have. So these are the data store, based on your data store, how you are going to store your data. The second one is based on the mining, based on the analytics what you are going to do, and based on the visualization. So we have 4 ways in which the features basically on which these technologies are being further classified. So we'll go into one by one and we'll see what all the technologies are there in our data storage. When you are talking about mining the data, what all the top technologies right now we have. When we go for data analytics, what we have, and for data visualization, what we are having. We'll start with the data storage. So that means how you are going to store the data. And one of the top technologies and most popular one which is used is the Hadoop. And this is the technology, this is the only technology which we will be covering in the next 3 modules, or in the next course. So in our entire course, now we will be walking through completely in detail about our Hadoop data storage. Now Hadoop framework, now again it is been designed to store and process distributed data. Now what is distributed data with commodity hardware? Now all these things in detail we'll be discussing later. These are the main features, or we can say provided by the Hadoop, right? Now we have tried to put almost the maximum type of the technologies and the symbols what we have been using, and in all the slides you can see who has developed this. Like say Hadoop is being given by Apache Software, and it is written in Java and version, and way here down you can see the various few top companies which you are which are using this Hadoop as the technology for storing the data. Right, so this is how the entire slides you can see. The first very popular technology for storing huge amount of data. Now we are talking whatever we are discussing, it is related to huge big data, right? We are not talking of very small data, so we are talking about a huge data. The first technology is our Hadoop. The second one is called as the MongoDB. Now the MongoDB is, once again, it is a database. Now it is completely we can say it is a very popularly database which is used, and it is a NoSQL database. That means we don't have any structure. Now compared to our MySQL, that is relational database, the MongoDB is completely different. Now there is no structure, so that this MongoDB can handle the varieties of the data, that is unstructured data. Already we said that 80% of our data which we are going to get from the world, it is of type unstructured data. It is not structured. Now if it is unstructured data, then our SQL, right? So the MySQL cannot handle unstructured data, so it can handle only structured data. So or Oracle can handle only structured data. Now whereas the MongoDB is the one which can deal with the varieties of data, so it can handle unstructured data. Now I can see who has been developed, the company which has been developed, and the programming language in which it has been written, and the various companies which are using the MongoDB as the data storage for dealing with the big data. And the third important technology which comes in the data storage is the Rainstore. Now Rainstore is, once again, it's a company again it is related to the database management of huge data, and it also helps in analyzing our big data enterprise. Now it uses the deduplication technique. So deduplication technique means we are going to identify the duplicates and remove the duplicates, such that utilization of the efficiency of your database increases. Generally it works, it is similar to our SQL, right, how the SQL is been working. Now the companies which are using this Rainstore also is given here. So later on you can browse especially the logos, the companies, and you can see in which particular domain these companies are working. Now you can see the big data applications what we have seen in the previous modules, starting from whether it is a real-time application, whether it is in social websites, or whether it is an e-commerce site or health sector. It ranges in all the areas where we are right now. We are using big data. The next is Splunk's Hunk. Now Hunk it's a very important thing which is once again given by the Splunk. Now this, using this hunk, now we can try to access the data remotely. The remote data access can be done from with all these data storage what we have technologies what you have seen, like say whether it is MongoDB, whether we're talking of Hadoop or the other things. So just like if you are using your RDBMS, so in order to access the data and manipulate the data from MySQL, so you are going to learn the SQL, that is structured query language. Similarly here, now when you are storing the data in your Hadoop or MongoDB, now you can use the hunk. Now through this we can try to access this data remotely. So this is about the data storage. That means the top technologies what is being used when you are going with the data storage. The next feature is we will be talking about the mining the data. Right, so now you have stored the data in some of the technologies. It can be a Hadoop, or it can be the MongoDB, or it can be the other technology which is available in the market. So now once the data has been stored in these data store, next mining the data. Now if you want to mine the data, now we have got again some technologies which are available. The one of the important one here is the we will be using is the Presto. Now it is an open source distributed SQL query engine. Right, it is an SQL query engine which is helpful for interactive analytics queries, and it can range for, it can support from gigabyte to petabytes of the data. That means huge data. So now Presto allows it allows us to query in various databases. Right, it can be Hive, it can be Cassandra, or it can be the relational database. Even with our relational database, if you are having also, if you want to mine that particular data which is present in our database, now the one technology is the Presto, and of course again it is written by the Apache, and it's an open source, and various companies which you can see the logos of various few standard companies which are using this for mining the data. So the second technology when you go for the mining the data is the RapidMiner. So RapidMiner, now it is once again it's a very powerful and robust graphical user interface which has graphical user interface through which you can create, deliver and maintain the predictive analytics. So we can do a lot of predictive analytics by using the RapidMiner. Now you can also, lot of features are there in this particular, like say advanced the workflow. You can draw the workflow, how the work is going to flow in your entire the process of the analytics can be discussed, or it can be shown by using the RapidMiner. This is the second technology which has been used for mining the data. Now the third one and another important one is the Elasticsearch. Now Elasticsearch, it is a search engine. It is completely based on Lucene library. So it is an Apache Lucene library which is a powerful open source library for search engines. It has got a lot of APIs which can be used for search engines. Now the Elasticsearch is completely based on that. Now it provides a distributed platform for us, wherein which you can write, or we can search the engine, so that it helps us to mine this particular the data when you are stored in your data storage. This is the few technologies which comes in the mining part. Now the third feature, analytics. Now when we go for data analytics, now the one of the important technology which we are going which is being used in the market is the Kafka. Again it is in Apache Kafka. It is a distributed streaming platform, so wherein which we can do lot of analytics based on our particular data. And of course it is similar to our message queuing or enterprise messaging system. Like say when you are talking about our Microsoft, it has got a message queuing system. Generally I think you will be discussing about this in your .NET classes, or how the messages are being queued up, so that when you send an email, how it reaches. So similar to that, how the analytics also can be done by using this particular the technology. The another important for analytics is the Splunk. Now the Splunk is through this Splunk now we can capture, we can index, and lot of correlated real-time application searching can be done on the repository of your data, and we can it's very powerful in the your generating the graph reports, analytics, and lot of applications, like whether it is you are talking of web analytics or business intelligence. Now generally this Splunk can be used for in a very better manner for doing the analytics. And the next one is the technology what we are going to use is the K9. So now this K9, it allows, again it's very powerful for data flows, graphical user interface, writing the models and trying to test your particular model and how the analytics can be done. So it's very popular, or we can say it's very strong in visual data flows. So analytics can be done by using this particular technology. And we have got Spark. Now once again it's an Apache, it's given by the Apache. It's also very powerful for analytics, and it provides an in-memory computing capability, so through which it becomes very fast for analyzing our particular data. Now in-memory computing, we can say that we are going to use a middleware in between the database and the front end, so that it reduces the lot of we can say the memory management what we can try to do, efficiency can be increased. No, in a very simple, it's not exactly, but if you want to look into a very simple example, now we can just think that we have got lot of Microsoft products what we are going to use. Say for example, you have got Word, PowerPoint, Paintbrush, etc. Now in a Word document, if I embed one, let us say diagram, okay, or if I embed an Excel sheet in a particular Word document. Now if I want to edit certain things in our image, so I need not open once again Paintbrush, just double click on that image, so that there itself in your Word document itself you can do some functionality. That's what we can say that in memory. So in memory now functionality. So the Spark provides this particular, so that very speedily, or the efficiency increases with respect to when doing our analytics. The next very popular language for doing analytics is R language. I think many of you might have heard of this particular R programming language, which is very powerful for statistical analytics or business analytics or the data analytics. A lot of data scientists are using the R programming language for doing the analytics. Now, but slowly, now you know that the Python is overtaking R. Now Python is becoming a very powerful programming language, and it has got a lot of built-in libraries, especially for doing the analytics, and gradually, or I can say that within few years, so R is completely, it is overtaken by the Python programming language for doing the analytics. Now R is another technology which can be used for analytics. And we have got blockchain. Now again, this blockchain is another important analytics, especially when we are talking about the financial transactions, right? So if you are doing the transactions and how to do the analysis on that, now we can use a technology called as the blockchain. So I think this the blockchain technology, few of you might heard. I think you might have heard of bitcoins, you might have heard of cryptocurrencies, right? Now the bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, it is these concepts came based on the blockchain technology. Now when we are talking of blockchain, a lot of things comes into the blockchain, like in a very simple, we can say that it is a shared ledger. We have smart contract, privacy, how you are going to do. So this blockchain technology is another technology through which you can do the analysis can be done, especially when we are talking about the financial field or the transaction, day-to-day transaction, what we are going to use. Now again, the lot of technologies what is available in the market. Now again, it depends upon which applications area. Now what is your application area for which we are going to do the analysis? Based on that we can select which technology is feasible for doing analysis on that particular problem. So after looking into the technologies related to the analytics, the last feature we talk about the visualization. Now you know that in the process of our data analysis, the last, or we can say one of the important stage is visualizing. That means graphs. How you are going to analyze, after analyzing, how you try to visualize your particular data, how you are going to take decisions on that particular data. So we have lot of visualization technologies are also available in the market. The first important is the technology what we are going to use is called as the Tabula. Now Tabula is a very powerful and it's very famous actually in the market. It's very popular in the market because of its data visualization tools. Generally in the business intelligence, in the area of business intelligence, many of the data scientists, they use the Tabula as one of the tools for visualizing, because it supports a lot of things for visualizing graphs, etc. has been provided. So this is the first one for visualizing. Then we have got Plotly. Now this is another important tool, the technology which provides lot of libraries, lot of things through which we can create the graphs and do the visualization. I hope in another courses, as what we are discussing, that we will be starting a data science course. So most probably in the next semester, when we are working on that particular course, so where we will be using the Python. Now you can see that in Python we have got Jupyter Notebook. So this in Python it uses the Plotly. So through this now we can draw the graphs and do lot of visualization for our analytics in a very efficient manner and in very easy manner. This is another visualization tool which is available. So now these are the various tools what we have seen in the four, and divided into four categories, starting from the data storage, that is how you are going to, for storing your data, what all the technologies you are having, and for mining the data, what all the various important technologies are there in the market, few important technologies, and for doing analytics as well as the visualization. So now apart from this, now there are some emerging big data technologies which are coming up right now in the industries. Now the one such emerging technology is TensorFlow. Right now the TensorFlow is one particular technology. We can say that it is a foundation for our machine learning. So now if you are going to learn the machine learning, I think in the next courses we will be discussing about the machine learning. Now for machine learning, or we can say the artificial intelligence or the deep learning, neural networks, now the TensorFlow becomes a very foundation. It is, we can say it gives a lot of built-in functionality for us through which we can work with the machine learning programs. Okay, so the TensorFlow is becoming very important or very emerging big data technologies right now what we are having. So even we have got Beam. Now Beam is another technology which is generally used for parallel data processing. So when we are when we'll go into the parallel technologies and parallel data processing, and then we can use this Beam is once again is becoming very popular. And even we have got Docker. Now Docker is also very we can say the innovative, or we can say very the latest technology through which we can create, deploy and run an entire application in using containers. So that means in one particular place in a container, now we can create our application, deploy the application, run your application. Everything is available in one particular thing. So again, this is the very innovative technique which is coming up in the big data technologies, that is the Dockers. Similarly, we have got Airflow. So Airflow related to the workflow management and scheduling system. So when we are working into looking into an application related to the workflow automation or the scheduling the task, so then the Airflow is a very good technology which can be used for dealing with such type of application. And similarly, we have got Kubernetes. It deals with the cluster management. Now once again, when we are working with the cluster management, then we can go with respect to this particular technology. Now these are the some of the latest big data technologies what we have discussed in this particular session. So in the next session, or in the video session in the tomorrow, now we will start with discussing with our what is the Hadoop, that is the important characteristics of our Hadoop, the important characteristic of the Hadoop, and how it differs from the traditional RDBMS, because our conventional database management and what right now we are going to use. Now the Hadoop, as we have seen in today's previous session, that it deals with the storage part. So the big data technology, one of the big data technology which is put in storage is our Hadoop. So from tomorrow, now we will be looking what is a few definitions or the important characteristics of Hadoop. Then we'll go to the data discovery and what do you mean by open source, why Hadoop is so important because of its open source nature, and the cloud computing. So we'll be discussing all these things in our next session. So if you have got again any doubts or queries, you are all free to post your queries in the classroom. Hope you enjoyed this particular session.